Welcome to the Orange Attack Path. Today we're going to be talking about LogonScripts. LogonScripts are often used by adversaries to schedule persistence or to maintain persistence in an environment. And sometimes it can be used to escalate privileges. So real quick, a review from our last template or the technique that we went through. We identified some usernames and passwords used in the application and on the web server at the operating system level. We recorded those usernames and passwords because we may use them in the future. We also found an account with a weak password, which we were able to log into with SSH. Then we exploited the elevation control mechanism to be able to gain additional privileges on the server. With those additional privileges, we were able to create an account for persistence that we will reuse not only in this attack path, but our next attack path. So first off, in Windows, a scheduled task is named scheduled task, and we're very familiar with that. Well, in Linux, the cron tab is a list of commands that you want to run on a regular schedule. So very similar to what we refer to as task scheduler in Windows. So going ahead and skipping to the last line, the schedule is called the cron tab. So again, it's a cron table or a job scheduler, and cron stands for time in Greek. But also the name of the program that we use to edit the schedule is called cron tab. So it's a tad bit confusing. We're using cron tab to modify the cron tab, but I want to explore this a little bit more. Why? Adversaries abuse the cron utility to perform task scheduling for initial or recurring execution of malicious code. The cron utility is a time-based scheduler for Unix operating systems, and the cron tab file contains the schedule of cron entries to be run and the specified times for execution. Also, you can specify the user account that is executing that cron. An adversary may use the cron tab to execute programs at system startup or on a regular basis to maintain persistence. Here's the reference to the technique in MITRE that you're welcome to pull up. You can also look at how the adversaries are using this in current campaigns. So first off, I wanted to talk about the system-wide cron tab. The system-wide cron tab is located in etc cron tab. And this file, even though commands may be placed in it and it's commonly used, it could be updated or modified when the system is updated. I've never had this occur where the file is modified in a system update, but I'm going to lean on those with more and additional Linux experience than I have for that statement, and also the vendor. The vendor calls that out. Anyways, it's mentioned in the documentation of etc cron tab. And then the etc cron tab is also readable by all user accounts, including the www data user. So for an initial foothold, you could look at the cron tab to see what's occurring on the system. It could give you information about backups. It could give you information about other tasks that are commonly occurring on the system. So take time to look at that. The other way you can work with cron tab is each user has its own cron tab. And to edit that cron tab, you can do cron tab -e. I would encourage you to do man cron tab to identify additional commands or additional ways to use cron tab. The other way, if you're granted permissions to modify the cron tab for other users, or you've elevated your privileges to be able to do that, you can run cron tab -u, meaning the user account you're modifying, www data, and then -e for edit. You can also list the cron tabs for users, and again, the miscreants are hiding in cron tabs, and you can list them by doing cron tab minus L. And then you can list other users' cron tabs by doing cron tab minus U data, for example, as a user account, minus L to list it for that user. Well, that is all for this video. I will continue with video 2 in just a moment.